21 minutes. That should do me some time. Or that should give me some time. So I'm gonna make a video dedicated to these bad boys later, but, well, I have a few new ones. Another Deathstroke and a Batman. That's cool. I like those a lot. Those are my Christmas gifts. Well, I also got season 2 of Arrow. My favorite season so far. Deathstroke. I mean, honestly, if you guys didn't expect that, I am getting quite predictable. So I don't know why you wouldn't expect that. Yeah. So anyways, this isn't about that. This is my Revenge of the Sith review. Yep. So, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. So, right at the beginning of the movie, we see Anakin and Obi-Wan leading an assault on Grievous's capital ship, whatever it's called. It's not said in the movie, and I didn't care to look it up before this review, so I will look it up eventually. I just didn't care to do it right this second because I got things to do. Christmas is up, but I don't really get a break from the stuff I normally have to do anyways. I'm thankfully unemployed well before Christmas. I stopped coming to work at the end of last month, so it wasn't a December thing or anything. Well, I didn't stop coming to work. I got laid off, fired, canned, whatever you want to call it, because the contract expired. I wasn't actually terminated, so. But, aside from work, I don't really get a break from anything on Christmas. It's whatever I normally do, I do again. So I've had a lot of thoughts building up on this stuff, so it might feel unfocused, which is weird because my Attack of the Clones review was pretty on point, I like to think. Doom Patrol, not so much, but Attack of the Clones came out like that. I feel like everything was just rattling in the right state of mind. Also, I think I'm getting sick. My friend came over and he got sick, but I'm not getting whatever he had. Completely unrelated. He was coughing, sneezing, having trouble breathing, honestly. So excited for me to play this game. And he was like, alright, I think it's time for me to leave. So I was like, okay, let's get you home. But basically, with all of that being said, my situation is a stomach and a sore throat and a headache every now and then. Nausea, pulsing headache, light sensitivity, and a sore throat. I could have two things, and the other one would be a migraine, and I'm not sure what's with the sore throat, but everyone in the family has been not feeling that great. So, I don't think it's a migraine. Well, this totally could, but the nausea. So I could have three things potentially. Think about that. The unluckiest man in the world. Oh, well, actually, I'd be unlucky if I had a bullet in my head. So, I'm still right up there. But just, a bullet in the head would be worse. I don't know if this is happening on the actual video, but my camera's being weird and wigging out with crossed lines and stuff. Anyways, back to Revenge of the Sith. So, at the beginning of the movie, we see Anakin and Obi-Wan leading an assault on Grievous's ship and to rescue Palpatine, who really isn't in any danger. And this Anakin is just an idiot in this movie. Like, right at the beginning. So, people say he's easily manipulated. I actually can relate with Anakin in this situation. I would be willing to do anything to save my almost anything, to save my loved ones. I'd have to weigh my options. I mean, see, it's that thing with, so your entire family, which in my case, let's say 2 people, are on this one train, and it's going to explode. Or you could save these people, 4 other people on this train. I'd weigh my options. It'd certainly be a difficult decision. But ultimately, I'd probably land on saving my family. That's just me. I can't choose between that kind of thing. Anakin took it to a whole nother level. I would not have gone nearly as far as he did. But you know, what can you do? Let's stop messing with that. So, yeah, basically, that I don't think is actually an issue. I mean, you know, he's clearly being manipulated, however easily you may think. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Palpatine was the one giving Anakin those dreams. I don't think he was giving Anakin the dreams that... Because the Force can do all sorts of weird things. But I don't think he was giving Anakin the dream about his mother. But I certainly think the ones about Padme, Palpatine was like, yeah, let's continue manipulating you with that. Because Anakin tells Palpatine of the whole Sand People, Tusken Raider shenanigans sometime in between 2 and 3, and not during Clone Wars, but Anakin tells Palpatine about this, and you can tell Palpatine's been planning this the whole time, because apparently this dude can see the future. He didn't know that Anakin was the chosen one, or the one that Plagueis created, but he's like, like, it seems to me in episode 1, he sees Anakin and he's like, what is that? There's no one there, and yet my doorknob shook. Not violently, very gently, but I could hear it. Anyways, so he looks at Anakin and he's like, and then in episode 2, he's sort of keeping tabs on him. It's clear to me. Episode 3, that becomes super obvious. He just starts telling Anakin these things, and Anakin is an idiot at the beginning of the movie with what I was talking about. He's like, all right, let me deal with the Buzz Bombers. And so they kill R4, which, by the way, no one ever talks about. Like, how did you forget this entire character exists? Anyways, so after he kills R4, the Buzz Bombers kill R4. Anakin's like, all right, steady up. I'm gonna shoot the Buzz Bombers off of you. Buzz droids, and I'm gonna shoot the Buzz droids off of you. And then Obi-Wan's like, Anakin, that's a terrible idea. Anakin's like, nah, man, I got this. The exact same thing. Both of them knew was gonna happen. And Anakin's like, oh shit, that was a bad idea. And Obi-Wan's like, yeah, you think? I just have to side with Obi-Wan on this one. I'm like, yeah, sorry. This was a huge... Sorry, I gotta talk my phone. This was a huge lapse in judgment. I don't understand how you could come to this conclusion and be like, yeah. Or how you can come to any conclusion and be like, yeah, shooting my friend, solid idea. Anakin eventually starts, like, scraping off the Buzz Bombers, but Buzz droids, and, you know, it works out. But I'm just like, Anakin, if you left things alone, I think you'd be better off. Just stop. That Jedi Starfighter was screwed, though, horribly, because there's no way he's getting off in that. I think they were trying to plant the seeds of Anakin's betrayal, but I'm not 100% certain that that's what that was. I think they just wanted a funny little gag, but I'm like, Something I did not mention in the Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan's an asshole. Like, radically different character than when we last saw him. Like, the whole movie, he's just an ass. With no rhyme or reason to it. He's an ass. And yet, in The Phantom Menace, he's this nice guy, who has, like a lot of hope. Even after Qui-Gon's death, he didn't let that shake him too much. He was still like, I am going to train you, Anakin, and Anakin's like, alright, that's kind of cool, I guess. But, yeah, so, like, that, there's that Obi-Wan, and then there's just the complete asshole Obi-Wan we see in Episode 2. Be like, oh, well, the death of Qui-Gon shook him up. This is, like, 8 years after that. Do not start with me. Do not start with me. But in Episode 3, we have like a mix of those two, but it's more focused on the Phantom Menace. Like, I've seen people talk about how Obi-Wan is much more refined in Episode 3, but I never hear people talk about how he's actually an amalgamation of the two. Maybe I'm just seeing things, but that's what I feel. And now that we're done with that, Grievous's plan was... I actually don't know. There was something in the movie, right? What were his motivations even, aside from being Dooku's errand boy? There's some banter between Anakin and Grievous, but not really much. Obi-Wan and Grievous have this giant chase scene on this stupid lizard thing, and I'm like, this whole scene could have been cut, and I wouldn't have realized it. Because I went back to watch that movie, and I was like, what the hell is this doing here? I don't remember it. And I was playing Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, and it wasn't there. And I was like, where did this come from? Simple fact, it didn't. Like, it just didn't. It serves no purpose. I'm not, and by the way, if you're getting confused, I'm not saying that Lego Star Wars came first or anything. I'm saying, where did this come from? Who thought it was a good idea to put in the movie? I'm not saying like, oh, well, Lego Star Wars is the original, before you guys get your shotguns out in the comments. But, like, just, who thought this was going to be a good idea? It slowed down the pacing. I was watching the animatic, and I was like, alright, this is a little better. But it's like, what? And no, it doesn't slow down the pacing. It just, it speeds it up, and then there's the inevitable, like, you have the rush, and then you have the crash, you know? Like a sugar rush or a sugar crash, you know? And so you have these things, and they just don't mesh well. I thought the Grievous and Obi-Wan fight was pretty entertaining, but it was largely just a stupid spectacle. And Dooku, he could just not be in the whole series, and nothing would have changed. He adds nothing to it, and he gets his head chopped off. In fact, the one thing he could have added to the series to be like, to like spark some, like, make everyone uneasy in the whole movie, which would have added a new dynamic, is if right before Anakin killed him, he just straight up said that Palpatine is the Sith Lord that they had been looking for. He had so much time to react. Palpatine's like, kill him now. And then Dooku could have just literally been like, yo, what, man? What? He could have just stood up and been like, yo, this whole thing was scripted as hell. That's the Sith Lord you're after. And sure, Anakin would have still killed him, believing that Chancellor Palpatine is, you know. But if Anakin tells Dooku, or tells Obi-Wan what happened, Obi-Wan will think back to Episode 2 and be like, bro, he's the Sith Lord. Dooku said this from the beginning. He's the Sith Lord. And then Obi-Wan could just walk up to Dooku and, like, see what or not Dooku, Palpatine, and see what happens. Why do I keep mixing up these names? And see what happens. He just goes up to Sidious, and he just, like, and just pulls out his lightsaber and just aims for the head or something like that. And then Palpatine would draw out his lightsaber, and that would have been awesome. But this movie just uses these things as a plot device rather than anything interesting, which, like, I still love these movies, don't get me wrong. My appreciation for them has not gone down, and actually with Attack of the Clones, it has gone up. But it's just like, secretly, I think these flaws had always been there. I just ignored them, but I knew they were there. So even though now I'm pointing them out and I'm getting kind of frustrated with them, I think that my opinion hasn't really changed because I knew they were there. They were affecting my opinion even then. It's just that I didn't realize that they were affecting my opinion. I am not a poet, but, you know, There you go. And then the final showdown with Anakin and Obi-Wan, I thought that was the coolest thing ever for a while. Now I'm kind of like, yeah, it's pretty cool. But some of the things I saw in the animatic were way better. Go to Disney Plus. Go watch the animatics. They're long and parts of them are kind of boring because like the CGI is clearly not finished. Like it's not even CGI at this point. They're just like a YouTube animatic, and this animatic is very different. This is actually animated, but go look up Eggman Pisses on the Moon. Funny as hell, but their version of an animatic is just a storyboard. So, anyways, though, these animatics are really good. It's just kind of like I was watching them in rapid succession, and I was like, I'm bored. As for deleted scenes, there's not really much I remember that was interesting. There was a scene with Yoda talking to Qui-Gon. It was an animatic, I think, but they labeled it as a deleted scene. And it had Yoda's voice, I think, but Qui-Gon's voice was a stand-in, so I don't know if they would have gotten Liam Neeson back, or if they could, or if that's the reason they didn't get the scene back in. I don't know what the deal is, but they didn't keep that scene in, so who knows. I don't really remember anything else. I think the animatics were about the extent of it. But outside of that, this movie is great, I think. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Oh, I was supposed to give... I don't know if... I'm still going to put it in the description because I have a reminder set to do that. But I was supposed to give Attack of the Clones a 9 out of 10. I forgot to do that. I literally just ended abruptly. Of my own free will. But it wasn't like any reason in particular. I did that. So, Attack of the Clones, 9 out of 10. I hope I do that in the description. I hope you guys are reading descriptions. Because I don't. So, I also have happy holiday messages in some of my descriptions. Because I knew I wasn't going to get a video out on Christmas. Because I never do. So I scheduled a bunch of videos and I'm like, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, you know. Just getting everything out there. Those are the big, whatever. You know, I'm just trying to be nice, you know, I'm bragging about being nice, so it's effectively ruining the whole nice thing, whatever. Hold on, I want to try something. I think I got myself a little bit. Yeah, but, yeah, so, whatever. I really just wanted to see how that would look. Now I hope I don't give epileptic people a heart attack. Or a seizure. I'm gonna put a warning in the title now. So... But, yeah, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. What'd you guys think about it? I give it a 9 out of 10, honestly. That it's clearly the best of the prequels. It's got a darker tone, but it's got more humor and banter to keep it light when it needs to be light. Whereas Attack of the Clones had a somewhat darker tone, but it was mostly just banter and inconsistent character writing. And then the Phantom Menace, and a horrible love story. And then and I'm not just saying that because I'm a guy and like, oh, love and romance does have no place in my Star Wars movie. I'm not just saying that because I'm a guy. It's terrible. Freaking anything on Arrow is better than what they had in Attack of the Clones. Freaking Olicity, I stand by that. Even though season 4 was hot garbage. So, but yeah, I stand by that. Olicity is better than anime. Padawan. I'm workshopping this. Anime just really doesn't work. Padawan, I'm not seeing. What was Padme's original last name? Amidala. So, no, last names don't work either. But yeah. So, anyways, Phantom Menace was just disjointed and confused. No one ever. got the point across to the filmmakers that it was disjointed and confused, because they're just listing all of these other problems with the movies and like, yeah, we could have done better here, and I'm just like, what about entire characters that didn't even need to exist, that were there, that served nothing to the plot? I mean, hey, all of these different things at least made it possible for the Clone Wars cartoon to do everything right, so we have a victory there, if it's any consolation. Alright, I really gotta go, guys. I'm running out of storage on here. I guess my next video is going to be Star Wars Rebels Season 1 review. Yeah, I'm on a Star Wars kick lately.